years ago today, I made a purchase that would change my life. And yes, of course, I'm talking about my GE Profile Ultrafast Combo. Yes, it has been 2 years since I've owned that thing. And today I'm going to go over just how my experience has been with it over the past 2 years. And I'm going to go over a couple of things that I think could be done better with it. But without further ado, let's get started. For those of you that have never seen my videos before, the GE Profile Ultrafast Combo is a 2-in-1 washer-dryer combo. So unlike your traditional separate washer and separate dryer, instead of having to, wait to put your clothes in, you put them into the washer, you got to wait for them to be done, and then you got to put them into the dryer, and then you got to wait and then fold them in, 7 to 10 business days. This single machine does everything for you, with the exception of taking your clothes out and folding them. I wish that's next. I really hope it is. But for me, I just throw my clothes into the machine, I power it on, I press the play button, and really it's as simple as that. And in less than 2 hours, I have a completely washed and dried and clean set of clothes. To go over some of the features of this machine, so it does utilize a heat pump, which that seems to be the way that most washer-dryer combos are going these days. It is also ventless, so unlike your traditional dryer where you have to hook up a dryer vent and then it vents all that excess heat up into the atmosphere, this machine will actually take all that excess heat and redistribute it into the machine, making it a lot more efficient. It holds up to 4.8 cubic feet of clothes, meaning that yes, it can wash a king-size comforter or blanket. I've been using this for 2 years and I have yet to have any issues. It also does have self-dispense detergent and softener. The detergent dispenser can hold up to 50 ounces where the softener dispenser holds up to 32 ounces. And no, you don't have to use Tide. You can actually go into the app and scan the barcode of your favorite detergent, and it will actually recognize that, and it will decide how much detergent it actually needs to use based off of what kind of detergent you need. The most useful feature that I have found is one that actually didn't come until almost a year after I owned my machine, and it is the pet hair software removal option. Which, funny story behind that is GE Profile actually got that idea from me. Yes, you heard that right. I am the founding father of pet hair software removal. I've peaked. I'll never do anything as cool as that. But I actually got to speak with GE Profile, including their CEO, last year at CES in 2024. And that's where they actually got that idea because, at the time, I had 2 dogs at the time. Long story behind that one. But I wanted some way to where there would be less pet hair on my clothes. So GE Profile saw that and decided to do something about that. So overall, that is some tip-top customer service in my opinion. Of course, you're probably wondering, well, Matt, in the 2 years you've owned this machine, has anything gone wrong? And the answer is yes, but only one thing. And it was actually pretty simple. And it's actually one of my humidity sensors in the machine failed. And the only reason I even noticed is because for some reason my wash-dry cycle was taking longer than it normally does. So for example, if I didn't use the pet hair software removal option, a load of laundry to wash and dry would take around 1 hour and 45 minutes, but I noticed it was taking just a smidge over 2 hours for the same amount of clothes. So I was very curious. So I contacted GE Profile and they were actually able to remote diagnostic my machine, and it turned out one of the humidity sensors failed. They came out in a week and replaced it, and this thing has been good to go ever since. A couple of questions that I get asked. One is there anything that you hate about this machine? Well, I think hate is a strong word, but there's 3 things that I'm going to discuss about this machine. The first is the lint trap. That is something that I get asked about the most, to the point to where I actually had to make an entire separate video on how to clean this thing because in my opinion, the lint trap is the ultimate point of failure on this machine, because if you own one or you're thinking about owning one and you don't keep it clean, it's going to fail. So that's part of what I do for my monthly maintenance. Depending on how much laundry you actually do, you may have to do it every 2 weeks. But the problem is the lint trap is so hard to access and clean. So what I would like to see in a future model is some way to where the lint trap area is much larger and easier to access for, like with my hand and all that. Because honestly, those little vacuum tools and brush tools that I have just aren't enough to where I can get it as clean as I want it. Next thing is going to be the overall height of the machine. So you can get what they call a 7-inch riser for your combo. I decided at the time not to get one. I'm kind of regretting that. I wish I did, but I wish it was taller because, you know, I want this thing to be taller, the drum to be higher off the ground, just so it's not as hard to reach to grab my clothes, which that is the ultimate first world problem. Yes, I do understand, but I think in my opinion, a 7-inch riser just might not be tall enough. And two, the riser actually doesn't have a drawer. It doesn't really do anything. The only thing that it does is it raises it. That's really about it. So I've talked about two things that I feel GE Profile could improve on this machine, but I'm gonna talk about one thing that I hate about this machine, and it's not even what you think. The one thing that I hate about this machine isn't even the machine itself. It's actually the amount of hate that I get for owning one of these. The two most commented things on my social media about this machine is, buy a Speed Queen, they're better, and we've had these machines in Europe for decades, and they're horrible. Well, let's address the first part, the Speed Queen people. Yes, I'm sure your Speed Queens are great, but the fact that the way you go about it on social media, it makes me never want to buy one. Like, I do not want to purchase one of those just because of all those people online. And then all the people in Europe saying that you've had these for decades and they're not good. That's not true. For one, you don't have a machine like that. I've used washer dryer combos in Europe, and yes, I do agree, they're awful. Because yes, they do take all day to do a load of laundry, and having to empty the water, that was one of the weirdest things that I've ever experienced in doing laundry. But like I said, the machine itself, it's great. That thing has absolutely changed my life. I love the fact that I'm able to just throw a load of laundry into the machine. I can go about my day. I can go to the gym. I can go to the grocery store. I can do whatever I need to, and not having to worry about, you know, having to put my clothes into the dryer, or, you know, maybe I fell asleep and forgot to put my clothes in the washer, or in the dryer, excuse me, and now I have to rewash them because they've been in the washer too long. This thing overall just makes my life so much more convenient, and I love it. After using this thing for 2 years, I will never go back to a separate washer and dryer set ever again. One concern that I do get from a lot of my viewers is the fact that maybe just one machine is not enough for them. Maybe they have a large family and they're used to being able to have a load of clothes in the washer as well as a load in the dryer, which yes, I totally understand that, but let me put you at ease. So some of my viewers, there are as large as a family of 9, and they are able to use just one machine, but maybe you still do a lot of laundry. The only recommendation, honestly, that I can provide is just buy 2. And you're probably looking at me like, wow, that's really expensive. Not as much as you think, because one, don't pay full price for this machine. Never do that. Always look for sales here in the US, definitely around the holidays. I have seen these as little as $1,700 a piece, like maybe at Costco or at Best Buy. So if you are considering purchasing multiple of these things, look around the holidays, and I guarantee you will find a solid deal out there. Well, everyone, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it educational. If you did, hit that thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button below. It helps me out a ton. And once again, if you have any questions about this machine at all, drop them in the comments and I will answer them to the best of my ability and as quick as I can. But hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.